Well, let's turn to the big focus story now. Delhi University's marquee college, Miranda House, caught in the crosshairs of a campus security issue with conflicting claims coming from Delhi police and the city's Women Commission. Both the State Commission and the National Commission has chipped in. In fact, the issue at hand is that of safety and security of students, of women students in campus. Why should women remain vulnerable to rowdies and rogue elements inside their own college campus? Is there no place safe enough anymore for women in Delhi? Public transport is unsafe, streets are infested with rogue elements, eve teasers, stalkers, and now college campus. Has that also become unsafe? That's the question we are raising here on the Big Focus. The trespassing incident in Miranda House College of Delhi University North Campus has raised many questions. But before we go into that, let's first tell our viewers what happened. Let's put out what was the sequence of events on the day of the fest. We'll just put out those pointers on screen. First, of course, the gates closed after the capacity was full. Remember, this was a Diwali fair that was organized. So once the college administration realized that they could not take in more people, the gates were closed. This is when trouble started. Those who were denied entry, let's go to the next point. Yes, those who were denied entry decided to gate crash. Look at the level of desperation. We'll play out that video in just a bit. But let's just tell our viewers what happened. The trespassers jumped over the wall and then, of course, got inside the campus, started harassing women in campus, allegedly even groping and catcalling the girl students. There were lewd comments made and there was eve teasing and catcalling that happened. This issue has raised the alarm now over girl student safety in campus. How can it happen in a premier college in the national capital with predators on the prowl? Do we need better surveillance and security so that such horrors don't happen again? In its initial statement, Delhi police said that the event was incident-free and claimed that no men entered the college, even though some videos shared on social media show otherwise. Later, an FIR for trespassing was registered. So there seems to be an attempt to suppress in the initial stages, but of course, cameras don't lie. Let's play out that video and I'll just show our viewers what happened. What is playing out even now, right now on your screens, is one of those who was denied. And remember, these are boys from Delhi University. Apparently, most of them are from another college. They jumped over the college gate and they managed to enter the campus. All this apparently has happened while there are security guards posted there who were mere spectators from what we can see. So that's the video. That's what has happened. It's a huge security breach when it comes to a premier institute which was organizing an annual Diwali fair, and this is what is going on. Let me go across to our correspondent on ground. Do we have Ishika online? Rishabh is online. Yes, Rishabh, over to you. Can you tell us what exactly happened in the sense that were there security guards present? Were there anybody looking after, the safety of the campus at that point when such a large turnout came on that day? What security measures were present to prevent this from happening?
Well, Afrida, if you see, Miranda House is a premier institute, as you mentioned, of Delhi University. Also, the security at Miranda House is in general always up. But for some reason that day, the fest was on, it was overcrowded, and the videos that are now viral, we can see men trespassing. But the point is, till now, there was not a single complaint that the principal, as per the principal, she has allegedly not received any complaint. The police also today filed an suo motu FIR for trespassing. Be it NCW or DCW, both have issued notice to Delhi police to look into the matter. But as of now, we do not have any student that has come ahead and said that, yes, this happened with me. Yeah, there are allegations, there are social media posts, but as of now, concrete proof of this is also not there. But definitely there was a breach of security. We can see the videos where we can see the men trespassing inside the institution. Allegations are that they went inside classes, were rude to professors and even students. Few students did allege that sexual harassment has happened, but as of now, none of those students have come forward to file an official complaint with Delhi police.
All right, we leave it at that for now. But yes, the fact is an FIR has been registered, and the two Women's Commission, Delhi Women's Commission and National Women's Commission, has taken cognizance. Rishabh giving us all the details. Thanks very much. Let's go across to our panelists joining us here on the program. We have Professor Tanveer Aijaz, columnist and academician. He teaches in Ramjas College. We also have Yashovardhan Azad, former IPS officer. And of course, we have a third panelist, Sonali Chitalkar, who is a Department of Political Science, Miranda House, also caretaker officer in MHNCC. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me here on the program. Sonali Chitalkarji, I would like to begin by asking you, here is a case where you have, a campus security issue where we are questioning how is it that in a premier college, when you have an annual fest, the college authorities, the university authorities, the city authorities, the Delhi police, everyone failed to ensure safety and security for the women. Isn't it appalling that women have to be subjected to groping and catcalling inside their own college campus?
Yeah, thank you for calling me on the show. I would like to put on record that certainly we were very well prepared. The administration had informed the Delhi police. There was adequate Delhi police presence on campus. And being from the NCC company, my own cadets were on duty. Plus, we also had non-teaching staff and NSS volunteers who were spread out all over the campus. And this is normal protocol that we follow for every event. Now, so I wouldn't really call it a failure. We were very well prepared. This is an annual event. Let me put it across to you. This is not a fest. This is a Diwali get-together that we have annually at Miranda House. We have a number of stalls. We, sell merchandise for Diwali, and it happens every year annually. The only thing that seems to have happened is that at one point of time, there was too much of crowding inside the campus. And for that reason, the gates were closed. And once you restrict entry, there is bound to be, it was not only, the crowd outside was not just boys. Even some of our students had to restrict themselves from entering the college campus.
But Sonali Chitalkar, I have colleagues who've passed out from Miranda House. They're telling me it's a very common phenomena. It happens every year. Boys just go around go over the wall. They gate crash. It happens every year. Is this being normalized? And when you say that we are spread out around the campus, our cadres are looking after the security, clearly they beat you in this game. And there are 3-4 boys who managed to breach that security which you are mentioning.
No, if you've got inputs from somebody that this happens every year, normally this doesn't happen on the occasion that we had on 14th October on the Diwali Mela. This happens when we have the college fest. And yes, we are very, very well prepared to have, for the college fest, we have a full security apparatus. All the entire faculty members are there on ground to manage this. And it does happen. It happens when the fest is happening. This was a Diwali get-together. Even though it does not happen for the Diwali get-together, but however, we as a college, we had met before the event. Administration had met before the event, and we did realize that this is the first time after COVID that we are having such a get-together. We may need more, precautions, which is why we had already informed the Delhi police. They were very much there, and we took the corrective measures as soon as we realized that on campus there is excessive footfall, and the boys who are trespassing in the Delhi police was very much there. Our own security guards were very much there trying to manage people who were trespassing into the campus also. Certainly, we have learned from this, and we will take more measures. We have had a series of meetings. We will definitely take what has happened into cognizance, and similarly map out even smaller events like the Diwali get-together that we had on the 14th. For the fest, for the annual college fest that we have, Tempest, we have all our procedures in place. In fact, even for smaller events now, we are mapping out procedures which are going to be in the form of standard operating procedures.
Because it is simply unfair, and what will happen is it will hinder a lot of parents. There are girls from all across the country, who are studying in these campuses, and there are a lot of women from small towns. Parents would be anxious that if this happens, is my child safe? Professor Tanvi Rejaz, you teach in Ramjas College, I believe. In fact, one of the slogans that I'm told, and some of these boys, if I'm not incorrect, are from Ramjas College. They made some slogan saying, Ramjas ka nara hai, Miranda hamara hai, or something of that nature, which led us to believe that some of these boys are from within the campus. These are rogue elements from within Delhi University. I shudder to think how women, are moving around in the Delhi University campus then.
Yeah, that's true in a sense that there are students from different colleges. Perhaps I won't be surprised if if students from Ramjas are also there. Some of them, because every college has some bit of rogue elements there. So, well, I think everybody would be on the same page. It's a despicable act, and nobody can, justify all these kind of things. This, in fact, I think it's very important to bring out certain kind of more, it's very important that more measures to be taken to control such kind of activities. One thing is very clear that if there were trespass, police must have swung into action. The point that what all of us understand here in the university is that whenever there is any kind of function or festival or maybe any event that happens inside the college, there are a lot of outside, and it becomes a real difficult job for the college administration to stop the outsiders entering into the college. This perhaps is what has happened at Miranda House. Also, earlier they had allowed the outsiders, anybody can come in. And of course, the students from the other colleges. So therefore, they must have taken more preventive measures. But my take is something
Well,
different.
offences,
That,
it's not. It's one thing to breach the security, then it's quite another to get into catcalling, eve teasing, harassing women. So, it's not as if they just wanted to be part of the fest and enjoy it quietly. Lot of college students have done it in their lives. Well, we have gate crash, but not with this kind of intent to harass the very women.
Unacceptable.
Yes, absolutely.
It's absolutely unacceptable behavior. And to curb this,
So their intent, sir, was not to simply attend the fest. What you're saying earlier, outsiders were allowed, and therefore there was some amount of desperation or, desire to see the fest. That was not the case here. These guys entered the campus and started harassing women. If you read their accounts on Twitter, there is vivid details on what the trespassers did after they managed to gate crash. So let me bring Mr. Yashovardhan Azad also into the discussion. Good evening, Mr. Azad. When we say this, like, how much can we then confine women? Isn't it the responsibility of the college administration, of the university administration, to create safe spaces, for God's sake, inside a university campus at least? Who do you hold responsible for this security breach, sir?
There are a couple of issues here which I'd like to highlight. First of all, what exactly happened? I mean, the tenor of discussion so far is that if anything happened like that, is despicable. Yes, of course, it is despicable. But the lady who was saying that, in fact, the NSS was deployed, NCC was deployed, Delhi police was deployed, and the security guards were deployed.
Yes.
So if you had the entire forces together, and then even it couldn't be managed, there is a complete failure of the management. So depending on the magnitude of the incident, there was a complete failure. If the women are saying that there were catcalls, they were groped, they were, all this,
yes,
then it's something terrible which has happened. Because a mere trespassing, I would sort of leave them alone. I think it's not a very serious offense. The other thing is, these Nara, Miranda, Hamara, even
Yes.
in our time, there used to be slogans like this. Okay, this is fine. I mean, this is fun. I mean, it's all right. But the question here is very serious. Every year, in fact, to tell you frankly, college events are mismanaged because it's very difficult to control who all come. Outsiders come in. Lot of whenever we used to have our functions, we used to have our own volunteers to guard the entire place and to make sure that the women are safe. That is the only way. But in a women's college, it's difficult because the women, instead of the women volunteers, it should be the responsibility must be taken upon by the principal, by the security guard, the NCC, NS, with the help of the police. And I think there should be zero tolerance. I mean, why with all this presence it's happened, it reports a failure. And the issue here is, as rightly mentioned, that no poor girl will come forward and say, yes, I was the victim of this assault or I was the victim of this, because nobody likes to get...
Yes, and Mr. Azad, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last I checked, all these are criminal offences now. These are criminalized. Voyeurism, to stalking, to eve-teasing. They can all be booked and they should be booked, and FIR has been registered against unknown persons. So the message must go across that you can't simply make these catcalls and get away with it. You can be booked under serious offences. Can you give us more clarity on that so that we use this opportunity to spread that message as well, Mr. Azad?
Whether it's trespassing, whether it's attempt to molest, whether it's 452, 354, there are series of offences. And in fact, offences against the women are taken very, very seriously by the police for investigation. This is extremely important, and this must be actually publicized too. In fact, trespassing itself is absolutely wrong, and it should be taken upon, for action. But the question is, the principals and the deans, they should get involved a little more, seriously than just supervising the whole thing. And I feel that this is lacking as of now.
Yes, you did mention that it's difficult to manage because of the sheer numbers sometimes. College fests are a challenge. Then, Sonali Chitalkar, what will happen is, and this is my fear, that, festivals will be banned. Let's not even have these events. Hope that doesn't become a solution. The idea is to retain these traditions, have these annual fests, and yet make it incident-free, isn't it?
Yeah, in fact, many of the students that we spoke to, certainly I completely agree with the other two panelists that this is a very serious thing, and Miranda House has taken it seriously. We are absolutely awaiting if there is any formal complaint that is going to be lodged with us. The entire procedure, we have an internal complaints committee, and the Delhi police is working with us, and certainly we will go the whole way. There is zero tolerance for sexual harassment on the Miranda House campus. This is something which we are very clear about. And of course, we also, many of the girls we spoke to, we have been speaking to our students throughout ever since 14th October. And many of them told us, ma'am, that we really want to ask the question to the larger society that why should it be that boys should behave in this manner when, it was an open event in any case, and the entry was restricted only after the numbers went out of hand. So that is a normal procedure. That is what any college authority would do.
Which is why, Ms. Chitalkar, at that point, the authorities should have really become aware and alert that now that we have closed the gates, the next logical thing to happen, which happens all the time in university campuses, is a gate crashing incident. So the first thing that should have happened is to make sure there's foolproof security around those gates. And it was a free-for-all. From what I can see, this was a very easy climb over, by the way. It wasn't even a very difficult thing for those boys to do.
As a matter of procedure, our boundary walls and gates are manned by the security guards.
So what were they doing, ma'am? What is the report you have as of now on what were they doing? Were they tipped off? Were they bribed by these boys? Why did they turn a blind eye to these ones?
I'm afraid none of our security guards would get bribed by any of the boys. Certainly, there is a breach. You can see it on the video, but those are all manned boundaries and manned gates. The Delhi police was right there. And once there is a students
This I
climbing.
find a little difficult to believe, you know. The Delhi police will not just stand there, mute
No, they were not
spectators,
standing
allowing
there.
it
They
to
were
happen. Either there was no
supervised. They were
deployment at
trying
that
to,
point, only when the
yeah,
cameras exposed,
they were
authorities
trying
woke
to
up.
ensure.
Either there was
See,
no
those
one
were,
manning those gates,
they were our secure. I was right there. NCC cadets were
and
there.
yet there was
NSS
nothing that could be done to
and
prevent
faculty
this.
members were there. Along with outside, we had the Delhi police. That is why we had informed them a day in advance. We had anticipated the college administration, the principal, we had anticipated. That is why we had already informed the Delhi police one day in advance. We are used to holding these kind
Let's
of,
not repeat the
you know,
things again, you know.
Yes.
Can I speak?
Yes,
certainly,
Mr. Azad.
certainly.
Yes,
I
go
would
ahead,
like to
Mr.
finish.
Azad, go ahead.
I
Let's
would
not
just like to
repeat.
finish. I would
No.
just like to finish. Certainly, we want that students, we have held meetings with the internal college complaints committee and students and requested them to come forward with complaints.
No, you're
And we will
talking
take
about
to
the
we will
action
take
taken
to the
later. You're talking
complaint
about damage
to
control. You're
logical
talking about what is
conclusion.
being done now. My biggest fear is, Mr. Azad, is that after having done everything that there was to be done, according to Mr. Chitalkar, this happens. Then we have something really to be worried about.
Absolutely. You know, she's repeated the entire sequence twice that she was there, everyone was there, and yet it happened. It should have happened. That's number one. Number two is that you have the CCTV cameras. Now, with the help of cameras, you should be able to identify those delinquents. And then the most
That's what we are
important
doing.
part now is
That
the,
procedure.
the most
That is
important.
under
Yes,
process.
let Mr. Azad speak,
यार
please.
बोलने
Yes.
तो दो हमें मैडम आप कितना बोलोगी प्लीज I didn't speak when you were speaking. जब कहते हैं when you have a CCTV camera and you have these delinquents on, your job now is to find the witnesses and say ki, yes, this was the guy I've identified who was doing this. This was the other guy who had trespassed at a particular point. And this can be vouchsafed by your NCC guys, your cadets, your security guards who are the people there. You should list out those witnesses and give it to the police so it will be of assistance so that it will be a fail-proof case. This is extremely important. CCTV is the biggest tool which you have in your hands right now.
Yes, and of course, it's all playing out before everyone in public domain. Professor Ejaz, you know, the problem is at the initial stage, the Delhi police also said it was an event that was incident-free. It was only when the students reported what they went through on social media, on their Twitter handles, that, you know, we also noted it and we decided to do a program on this because we definitely feel that campuses, girls' college campuses have to be safe. You know, that's the last recourse, literally, for a woman in this country where she goes to study, where she wants to have a peaceful, safe environment. That environment cannot be contaminated in this manner. You know, the college principal in the initial statement said, we did not expect this turnout. Now, again, that is not acceptable, is it? You should know what is the kind of turnout expected.
Yes.
And you cannot just tell us that it happens every year. You know, this is a clear lapse on the part of the college administration. Can we at least concede to that much?
Are you asking me that?
No, I'm asking Professor Ejaz. Okay, I'm afraid Mr. Ejaz is not connected. Are you connected with us, Tanveer Ejaz? Okay, he's not able to hear us. Okay, so the point of the matter is, in fact, I'm just closing the conversation here because we are completely out of time. Yes, Mr. Ejaz, go ahead, sir.
What really, you know, that the whole blame should go to the college administration because of the fact that, you know, the students were jumping from outside and outside you have police. So I think it's very important that police outside must, you know, swing into action. Inside, of course, something, you know, on the security, there is a security lapse. And if police were informed before, they should have come into action. But my point is that, you know, it's a larger problem. It's a larger problem where I think we need to sensitize the society more about you know, what is masculinity. You know, that is perhaps missing. These boys, you know, who jumped, they did not know this, that, you know, they are committing a crime, they're committing offense, and of course, they think that this is the norm. This is the norm,
Which is
as
why
Mr.
I
Azad
allowed
was
Mr.
talking
Azad to
about.
tell us how grave an offence this is. Trespassing is an offence. Voyeurism, stalking, eve teasing are all offences in this country. You can't get away with it. And this is scary for parents of both boys and girls. You know, and Delhi University is supposed to be such a coveted university to get admitted. You do not get admission into these colleges until you get a 95% and above. And look at what has happened to the reputation of the university. I'm afraid, you know, this is a failure of the administration. We have to make these college campuses safe, and there can be a foolproof plan. I refuse to believe there cannot be a foolproof plan to create these safe spaces. Thank you, gentlemen, and Professor from Miranda House, Sonali Chitalkar, for joining us on the program.